Welcome back. This video is going to cover variables and the basics of creating your first program. First, you need to create a new file. Click on File in the top left, click New, click Save As, and then save it anywhere you want as a C source file. You can name it whatever you want, but it's common to name it main. Now, we're going to create our first variable. On the first line, go ahead and type int x semicolon. Congrats, you just created your first variable. It may not look like much, but what this line actually does is declares our new variable named x, so that the program will be able to allocate space in your RAM that can hold up to 4 bytes of information. The int stands for integer, meaning that this variable can be a whole number, such as 1, 5, -10, or even 69. The x is simply the name we've chosen to give this variable, and we can use and manipulate its value by referencing x. And finally, the semicolon marks the end of the line, so that when we compile the code, the compiler knows to go to the next line to read the next set of instructions. Now, let's declare a new integer variable named y. Now, let's define these variables. In C, we have to define our variables inside a function. I'll explain more about functions in another video, but for now, just know that functions are tools used to execute lines of code written inside them. Inside our main function, we'll define x as equaling 1 and y as equaling 2. Now that we actually have values for our x and y variables, it's time to manipulate them. I'm going to create a new variable called z, and then I'm going to set z to equal the sum of x and y. This means that z will be equal to 1 plus 2, which is 3. Now, to finish off this program, it's common to write the line return 0 at the end of your main function. As long as your program works, and before the main function ends, the compiler will read return 0 and know to print out the number 0 into the console at the bottom of the window. Hit F6 and run your program. Check the bottom of the window to make sure that the exit code is 0. If you see a 0, then you know that the program is working properly. Now it's time to check the value of z to make sure it equals 3. Instead of writing return 0, replace the 0 with z. This way, the console at the bottom should show exit code 3. And if it does, then give yourself a pat on the back because you just created your first program.